Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of the Jam Talk Show. You're tuning into the Jam Talk Show. I'm your host, Dorlan H. Francis. I'd like to thank you for joining me. And as usual, I implore you to listen. Hoping you will learn something. And if you find the program interesting, I'd ask that you share them with your family and friends. And let as much people know about the Jam Talk Show and the matters that we discuss in this show. As usual this evening, we'll be looking at current affairs. And then after that, I'll be spending some time looking at the pros and cons of diaspora voting. This week, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mrs. Kamani Johnson-Smith, stated that she was requesting consultation on the whole idea of diaspora voting. So I will be offering my 10-cent worth, and you can weigh them for what they're worth. In the current affairs this evening, I'd like to start on a very disappointing note, and that is the treatment of my fellow Jamaicans meted out by the authorities in Trinidad. I don't know about other people, but I find it very, very, very despicable. Okay? I don't have a problem if people go to other country, commit crimes, and is being dealt with according to law. But I find it outrageous that people could be going to a foreign country, especially a sister CARICOM country, and having not broken any law, is being treated like criminals. I find that to be totally contrary to the spirit of CARICOM. Why bother have CARICOM? Why bother have free movement of people if that's how you're going to be treating the citizens of Jamaica? I think we Jamaicans should all speak up against this. We should not wait until it is you, or your brother, or your sister, or your mother, or your father, before you look for people to come and protest. We should all be outraged by this, and we should speak up and let Trinidadians and the rest of CARICOM members know and understand that we don't expect this kind of treatment of our people. You can't treat people like that. If visas are required, then ask for visa. I don't know if under the Treaty of Chagaramos, if Jamaicans going to Trinidad, we would be required for visa. So if visas are not required, then how can you when a person come there, haven't broken no law, you're gonna be detaining them and treat them like criminal? Huh? You're gonna have them sleeping on chairs and bench and floors, and putting them on restrictive bathroom break and all that kind of thing, not feeding them and so on. It's totally unacceptable. And I'm very disappointed that this will be coming from Trinidad, one of our biggest trading partners. I think we Jamaicans need to pause and really take a look. You know, I think the Trinidadian economy is what it is to a large extent because of the support given to it by the Jamaican economy, the Jamaican market. And we Jamaicans have supported Trinidadian industry to a great extent. And if this is how they're going to be treating our people, we need to take we need to step back and reassess everything, reassess the relationship, reassess the way we do business. Because, I mean, I don't know, none of these people, I don't know any of them, other than I know that they are Jamaicans. And if you disrespect one Jamaican, you disrespect me too. And I take strong offense to it. And I believe the Minister of Foreign Affairs need to tell the Trinidadians and the rest of the people in CARICOM that it's a different government in Jamaica. The government in Jamaica is not a government of beggars. So you're going to be afraid of you tread on people's toes. Okay, we are pride. We might be poor, but we have pride. And we don't expect nobody to be treating our citizens the way the Trinidadian authorities treated our Jamaican people last week. It's totally unacceptable. And I think the new government should send a clear signal. Those kind of disrespect must stop now. Must stop now. We're not coming to beg you nothing. We're not coming to help you, beg you to help us balance our budget. We'll be able to do it. This government knows how to do it. And they'll be able to manage. Right? And in another couple of years, with this government at the control, you're going to wish you're going to want to be able to do business with Jamaica. Because we're going to be getting back our rightful place in the Caribbean and in the world. And we will not be anybody doormat that you can tread on and do as you please. We will again restore our pride of place. And Trinidad, the rest of the Caribbean and the world will have to accord Jamaica the respect it deserves. I will have to beg for it. I think the citizens who were treated rudely should heed the call of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and lodge a formal complaint so that the government will be able to take the necessary actions, the actions that are the sort of remedies that are made available under the Treaty of Chaguaramas. Because I haven't read the treaty. I can bet, and rest assured that there's no way any of the member countries should be treating another country's citizen the way Trinidad treated the Jamaicans. So, do you make your formal report so that a formal and proper redress can be sought from the Trinidadians? And I hope they look into themselves. I have a lot of Trinidadian friends. It's a country I really admire. But you can't treat people like this, man. Even if we are beggars, they don't treat beggars like that. You don't do that. You don't let people come to your country and then you detain them. You have you have nothing to suspect them of committing a crime. But you're going to detain them and you're going to restrict their movement, and you're gonna deny them bathroom break and all that kind of thing. That's inhumane. That's outrageous. And Trinidad, you need to look into yourself. Anybody ever come to Jamaica and Jamaican authority treat them like that? Huh? And you may not have come in the past, but you're going to want to come in the future. Would you like to be treated like that? You need to stop that, man. If we're an integrated community, let's behave like one. If we're going to allow free movement of people, let's allow it. Put your system in place. If you think people are coming there and doing work, put your system in place to counter that. But you don't stop free movement. You don't do it at your whim and fancy and embarrassment and insult to people. Totally unacceptable. So, Jamaicans who were funded, please cooperate with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and ensure that you put them in a position so that we can seek the proper redress to this gross violation and outright insult. Also in the current affairs this week, there was the opening of the North-South Highway. I think that the government of the Jamaica Labour Party was the one that opened the North-South Highway. Was poetic justice, because we all know the history of this highway. We know that in 2007, this was or the 202. This highway was quickly announced, as one of the usual vote catching announcements of the People's National Party. And it was announced before any careful planning was done. And when the JLP took government in 2007, they were the one who had to go and do all the geotechnical surveys, the geotechnical analysis, make all the plans. As a matter of fact, everything that was there had to be revised and adjustments made. I mean, the French company was the one who was supposed to be doing it. They ran into all kind of difficulties, right? And they had to be, bought out. And it's a credit to Mike Henry that you were able to disengage from the French company and who was able to engage Chinese Harbour Engineering Company. Right? This was all done by the Jamaica Labour Party. And then Che was the one who put up all their money to finance the highway based on an agreement that was entered in between Che and the government of Jamaica when the government of Jamaica was run by the Jamaica Labour Party. And under the astute management of Mike Henry. Right? So it's only fair that the highway came to successful conclusion at a time when the Jamaica Labour Party was in government and is able to open it. Right? Otherwise, this would have been one of the People's National Party, one mega project every 5 years that they would use to bamboozle the Jamaican people, and for which for the past 15 to 20 years they have fallen for. The same thing, one mega project every 5 years. And everybody, wonderful government work. Remember the Emancipation Park, one mega project every 5 years. When it was from 97 they started, or 202 they had the highways, the highway that was a mega project. Of course it was a highway that other people build and charge Jamaicans to drive on, So we should not forget that. It was not government all the way. These are toll roads, and these roads were being built at a time when the rest of the infrastructure was falling apart. Yes, these toll roads are good, and countries have toll roads. But you should not only have toll roads. You should have roads that where people can't afford the toll, they have good alternative road. I think this is a requirement of international law. You can't just put up toll road and people don't have alternative road. Because not everybody can pay a toll. And maybe when you have an emergency, like having to get somebody to the hospital in short order, you don't have the money for the toll. So what are you going to do? Alright? So you need to have alternative roads. But these toll roads were being built when the other road infrastructure was being allowed to fall apart. And even after the JD program and $32 billion of spending, the internal road structure still leaves a lot to be desired, right? But nevertheless, this was the one major project in 2002. Remember log on to progress and all the excitement. One mega project. And then you have the Emancipation Park, you know, another mega project. And in 2007 it was supposed to be the halfway tree bus terminus. Again, that was not finished in time. And I thought to be the JLP that finish it and open it up. You know, but you know, if it was completed, oh, there would be a lot of fanfare, and the one mega project would have come to show how prosperous we are and how progressive we have become. This is all the con that we have fallen for repeatedly. And the highway, the North-South Highway, although the government had very little to do with it, other than it being part of this Highway 2000 project, which is not another concept. Everybody have to build highway. And highway improvement, you know, the design and all of that improve with time, right? So we Jamaica know we had to build highway. We had Kingston to Spanish Town highway from Share was there in 1967 to 72. That's when the Kingston Spanish Town highway was there. It was supposed to be a 6-lane highway, but because of PNP opposition, it was cut down to 4, right? And that highway should have been raised by 2 feet above the floodplain of the out by Kemana's Park there. And when the PNP had to finish it, they didn't bother raise it one side. If you notice the north side to the ferry police station there, as the Korean fall nowadays, it flood. The reason why that flooded because when the PNP took over to finish that highway, they in an effort to cut back here and cut back there. I often wonder why they want to cut back. They did not elevate that section of the roadway by the 2 feet that the planning required. And that is why that section of the road there floods so easily. Right? Because they did not follow through on the vision and the foresight of people who knew better and who had a plan in place to mitigate against those kind of conditions. And right now, the Korean fall out there. But the point I'm making is that highways were there from 67 to 72. You know, the flyover bridge at 6 Mile was there. Long time. So people know that the country must build highways. And what the Jamaica Labour Party used to build was highways that people drive on free. They never have to pay any toll. Okay? So coming with Highway 2000 where people had to pay a toll, there's nothing novel about that. Other people put up money and they pay a toll on it, and you treat that as if it's some great innovation. There was nothing novel about that. There were highways before. Kingston Spanish Town bypass, the concept of the ring road around city, around municipalities, were all there. And if it wasn't for the debacle of the 1970s, we would have expanded on those, right? And would have had a more advanced road infrastructure than we now have. So, you know, some people come and to see as if, these highways, it would not have been there had it not been for PJ or the PNP. Nonsense. The concept that they're about in is the concept of tolling, and people have to be paying arm and a leg for the privilege to drive on these highways. And that takes me to the next thing that occurred this week. And it was the government effort at reducing the toll. And I must applaud the government and Prime Minister Andrew Holness for showing concern to the people and approaching China Harbour Engineering and get them to reduce the toll by 25%. Now, it's not clear to me whether it's 25% for a month or for how long. But I think the government should make representation, appeal to China Harbour, and leave it up to them. Because the market have a way of correcting things like these. This is where free market come in. Because I'm sure if they let the toll stay at those exorbitant rates, the usage of the toll will be greatly reduced. And pretty soon they will realize that it's better to charge a man You know, $1,500 one way, $3,000 round trip, and have maybe 100,000 cars using the road, than charge 3,500 one way, $7,000 round trip, and then have 20, 30,000 cars using the road. They will quickly do the maths and see which way they're better off, right? And that is where the market will find its true level. I think the prices are a little too high. I know it was a lot of money to that was invested, 600 and a million US, close to 700 million. I don't know the numbers. I'm not privy to the numbers. I don't know what the anticipated use is and what the payback period is supposed to be. But whatever it is, if people don't use it, they're not going to realize the kind of revenue that they otherwise would if the price is affordable and they have people using it. So while the government is concerned about the high rates and want to show empathy with the Jamaican people and want to do all they can, I don't think they need to give away the store in negotiating with China Harbour. The highway is already built, and if they want to price it so that usage on it is lower, then they will feel the effects. In Toronto, the government had a express rail from downtown Toronto to Pearson Airport that they call HOP. They call it the HOP Express. Union to Pearson Express. And they came out charging some exorbitant prices. And nobody took it. And the prices were rolled back to a half. And ridership is picking up. And that is how things will go. The same principle can be applied to these toll roads. And if they don't roll them back to affordable levels, then the road will be there. The money is already spent. And if they want to recoup their investment, then they have to have people using it. So the market will force them into action. The market will point them to where they need to go. And I don't think the government need to make no whole heap of concessions to Che. Right? Having said that, I have nothing against China. I hope they'll make money. We have to give thanks that the Chinese are prepared to come and develop countries, not only in Jamaica but in Africa and around the world, right? Because the Americans have lost their way. They feel that money is something that you just put in your bank and make it pile up, and you look at it and you feel excited about it. You understand? They seem to forget that what matter in life is things that sustain life, make living better. The Americans have totally lost their way, right? You have private equity and all those people, all they want to do is just make money some way, somehow. But they don't care about providing things that people use, right? And that's why China is the only player in the world right now that is doing these things. And they are gaining influence in Africa. They are gaining influence in the Caribbean. And I applaud them. I applaud them and welcome them, But they have to understand market forces. It's one thing to do something and it really values $10 million. But when you try to sell it to $10 million to people who can't afford it, you're not going to sell. So sometimes it means cutting your losses. Right? Sometimes it means going south in order to go north. Right? The highway will be there. It will be there for a long time. The concession period was for 50 years. That the government probably could extend that. Extending that another 10, 15 years. I don't think it's either here or there. But certainly they don't need to have to give away no more land and no more, prime property in order to get concession on the rates. Right? So let the market determine those rates. Mr. Prime Minister and Labour Party government. Um, coming out of that, the Mr. The president of Che, what's his name? Mr. Son, is that ZU Son, is the vice president of China Harbour Construction Company. And he has hailed Prime Minister Andrew Wallace as an energetic leader and a fast decision maker, right? And that is important and noteworthy, because you see, when you come with clean hands and pure heart and the desire to develop country and people, you don't come and put obstacle in people's way and lay and hope that somebody will come and talk to you. You understand? A lot of that went on in the past. In order for anybody to get anything done, you have to come talk to me. Come talk to the relevant man, the relevant minister, right? And when people are waiting to get the talk to, they delay, they dally, right? They put all kind of frustration in people's way. And that is why our people with investment projects to start, and they get frustrated and pack up and go. And that is just also corruption cause poverty, right? Because they're waiting for people to come talk to them. Come talk to me. Come, let's make a deal. You know, we see a lot of that under the former government, right? And that's why their growth is next to nothing. Because the primary reason for them being in government is to see what they can get for themselves and them connected friends, right? I believe the primary reason for the Jamaica Labour Party to be in government and for Prime Minister Andrew Wallace to lead this government is to see how best they can develop the country and develop people and move us from poverty back to prosperity. Move us from being a junker breed of the Caribbean where everybody want to come take step with us to the pearl that we once was. Where pretty soon we are the one who will have to be requesting visas from people to come, who want to come here, because we are more sure they're not going to want to leave when they come. You understand? So that is the difference. Culture, the attitude and the culture of a government make. When you're not there because of what you can get and what you can squeeze out, you can be a quick decision maker. And I'm very heartened by that. And I hope Prime Minister Andrew Wallace will continue to be a quick decision maker. Yeah, man. Make the decision. If very few decisions are etched in stone. You can tweak things as you go along, right? You don't have to make perfect the enemy of good. So get the facts, have your good intentions, make your decision. If things need adjustment, if the adjusting has to take place as they go along, do the adjusting. It's rare anybody ever started anything big and it was just perfect at the word go. So that's a good way to go, and I'm glad that a country and a company that have serious money that can invest in the country recognize that this leader and this government is a fast decision maker and is someone people can do business with. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna play some music. This music is Ernest Smith, Power and the Glory. And this reminds us of the way things were in the 1970s. And as we think about allowing diaspora to vote, we have to examine all the scenarios, right? And in examining the scenarios, we need to reflect. We need to look back and see how things were in the past. And Ernest Smith, Power and Glory will remind us of how things were in 1970. This is Ernest Smith, Power and Glory.
Say good music, run that!
And as we fight one another for the power and the glory, the kingdom goes to waste. We the people want to know just where we're going. Right now we have our tied behind the back, while certain people if I'm butting. Where do we stand? We have too far to go, not to really know just how we're getting there. And if we're getting anywhere, we have too much to change, not to know a possibility, unchangeability. Violence and crime is commonplace in these said times. No man walk free. Prophecy come closer to fulfillment in these dread times. Why should this be? And as we fight one another for the power and the glory, your kingdom goes to waste, and every drop of blood we tears. I feel we own this grace, yeah. I feel we own this grace. Can't build no foundation if I'm born. Are we building a nation, or are we building a hut? And every time you are the song, old friend, you hear said just last night, we made a sad, sad end. And if you talk too long, and if you walk too proud, watch where you lay your head. For all that dread, well dread, can't build no dreams on a force and fight. We don't care who I do it, just say that's not right. And as we fight one another in the power and the glory, your kingdom goes to waste, and every drop of blood we tears. I feel we own this grace, yeah. I feel we own this grace. Can't build no dream on a heap of butt. Are we building a nation?
Are we building a nation, or are we building a hut? That was Ernest Smith in the 1970s. After he did that song, he had to run away to Canada, right? And I raised that history because we are talking about giving the diaspora the opportunity to vote, right? And when you're doing certain things, you have to look at the culture and the history of people in deciding what you will allow and what not to allow, right? That song was reflecting on life in the 1970s. And life in the 1970s was under Michael Manley and the PNP. And they were doing everything in their power to frustrate the democratic will of people. Right? They were doing everything to instill fear. Right? Coming out of 1976, the state of emergency, it was all designed to control, to get power and to keep power. Right? And I touch back on that piece of history because I see where Minister Kamani Johnson Smith is taking consultation to have the diaspora to vote. And I can't think of anything that I'm against. Like I'm against the idea of the diaspora voting. Right? So that seems to be a wonderful thing. You know. But when you have people with a high honor system, you can do certain things. But when you have people with a history and a culture of trying to find ways of depriving fellow citizens of their right to vote and trying to find ways of seizing power and holding on to power, then you have to pause and give some thought to what you're doing. Right? The People's National Party has made no bones that according to their chairman, they think it is in the best interests of Jamaica that the People's National Party run the country. And they feel that anything they do that will enable them to be in power is in their best interest and in the best interest of Jamaica. And that is what guides them. And when he said anything, he did not qualify it. He meant anything. And they have done it in the past. They have done it in the past. And they will do it in the future. The People's National Party will corrupt any electoral process that might be brought to bear in the country. In 1976, Michael Manley declared a state of emergency using trump-up charges. The state of emergency was declared using a 5-man committee who did not take any notes and who did not include the police nor the army in that committee. So you tell me, what kind of state of emergency was that? It was a sheer political state of emergency, right? And why did they feel it necessary to have a political state of emergency? Because they declared state democratic socialism in 1972 and thought the people would have rebelled against it. They did not want the people to have a free vote to decide whether democratic socialism was something they wanted. So in 1976, they came with a state of emergency. And it was an evil act. Right? Yeah, the Minister of Security Kivaman signing blank detention form and giving it to police. You know, policemen who were well in their pockets, the pocket of the then government. And they were at liberty to go around and detain anybody they feel like detaining. Those were dark days. But that is the level to which the People's National Party will go to get and keep power. Right? Most of the electoral laws that had to be amended was because of them. Every little devious way of trying to win an election. Golden ballot box stuffing, because of them. Right? the political cleansing of South St. Andrew and Southwest St. Andrew is because of them. Right? Take a look at South St. Andrew. Tony Spalding won that in 1972 by 102 votes. 102 votes. He beat E.C.L. Parkinson, the former minister, Speaker of the House. Right? And today, Southwest St. Andrew is one of the largest garrisons the PNP have. South St. Andrew. Southwest St. Andrew now was one of the largest, one of the strongest JP constituency you have, up to 1972. Right? One time that was won by D.C. Tavares. D.C. Tavares administered housing, was the man who built like Payne Avenue. Right? And you see, you can see how those buildings were built. That was poor people house, Payne Avenue, and Tavares Garden, and D.C. Tavares Market, and all those places. He was winning by over 4,000 votes. Over 4,000, check it out. In 1967, he won by over 4,000 votes. Right? And he died. And then Wilton Hill took over Southwest St. Andrew. And in 1972, Wilton Hill won that constituency by over 3,000 votes. But the People's National Party came to power in 1972. And they went on a political cleansing of South St. Andrew and Southwest St. Andrew. And the history is what it is today, where those two constituencies are the two largest PNP garrisons you have. Right? And because of garrisons like those, the People's National Party started an election in Jamaica with almost 11 seats. Nobody can challenge them for that. Right? And that is how they work. They will use strategies and corrupt anything to ensure they have the power. And I say all of that to say that I don't see why they would show any remorse, any desire to corrupt diaspora voting. I don't see why they would think that, oh, we can do this in Jamaica, we can do this in South St. Andrew, we can do it in Southwest St. Andrew, we can do golden ballot voting, we can buy votes in Jamaica, right? We can stuff ballot box in Jamaica. But for the diaspora voting, we're gonna submit ourselves to an honor system. I think rather not. And I don't believe that we should have diaspora voting. And it is for the main reason is that I strongly believe that the People's National Party will find a way to corrupt anything that can be put in place. Right? And they will have people who will work with them to help corrupt the system, because they have corrupt almost every institution in Jamaica, and every system that they have had control over has been corrupted. Right? And if we were to allow for diaspora voting, I believe the People's National Party would leave no stone unturned in trying to find ways to corrupt the process. Understand? But even if we had a honorable party who would subject itself to the will of the people and abide by the decision of the people, and we could use the honor system, I still would believe that diaspora voting should not be done. Right? One of the reasons is the logistical nightmare that diaspora voting will present. First of all, I don't know if the plan would be to let people in any country, anywhere in the world vote. I think probably the focus will be on the North American countries of the US and Canada and Great Britain, right? So right off, if that is the way it goes, then that means that we not all Jamaicans in the diaspora would have equal protection, right? If that was so, but let us say it is not so. Let's say they're gonna allow Jamaica anywhere they have an embassy or a consulate or a high commission. Let's say they are gonna allow people to vote there. All Jamaicans still would not have equal protection. Because even in Canada, you have the High Commission in Ottawa, you have Consul General in Toronto, and I believe you might have Consul General in Vancouver. What about the people in Winnipeg and Saskatchewan and Alberta, Calgary and those places? How would they vote? The people in Montreal, how would they vote? Are you going to do a email voting? How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it so that the people in the diaspora will have equal protection? Not just the people in big cities. In the States, how are you going to do it? I think in the States, there's ambassador in Washington. You have Consul General in Miami for sure. And some other places. I don't know all the locations. But I'm sure they don't have, there's 48 lower state. They don't have 48 locations. So how people who are living in the other states, how will they vote? So because of that, because of the logistic nightmare that I think it will pose, because of the fact that Jamaicans in the diaspora could not be assured of equal protection. You know, a man in Alaska, would he be able to vote? Whereas the man in Toronto or a man in New York or Miami might be able to vote. Will somebody in the inner city, in interland of America, will they be able to vote? I don't see how they overcoming those logistics, right? So because of that, I don't think we should allow it. Other countries may have allowed it and can live with their lack of equal protection. They might have a better honor system than we do, but in light of the logistical nightmare and in light of the fact that we have a party that will leave no stone unturned to try and find ways to corrupt it, things is somewhere we need not go. We need not go down that road at all. I believe. Now, if for example, there was this diaspora voting, would it be just for general elections? Would it be for parish council elections? Would it be for by-elections? And would it be for referendum? How will you be able to facilitate all those processes? Right? I will strongly urge the government, though it seems good, and I know this government want to include the diaspora. There are other ways you can include them, and I'm gonna come to some of those ways. But this diaspora voting, to me, it will pose more problem than it solves. And I think the government shouldn't go down that road. Shouldn't go down that road. What the government can do in trying to show their concern for the diaspora and trying to show that they want the diaspora to feel a part of Jamaica and to feel involved in Jamaica development what they can do is to guarantee the right of diaspora to come up to Jamaica and vote. Right? So right now, what the representation of the people is Act, the ROPA, states. Having read it, I don't think that a man who is resident in a foreign country, a Jamaican who is resident in a foreign country, can then go back. Is resident in a foreign country for more than a year, can then go back to Jamaica and vote. Reading the Act, I don't think that is so. Although that is allowed. That is what has been happening. And I think people will do things until they are challenged and until it is tested in court. I believe if it were to be tested, a petitioner probably would prevail. Because the way the Act is written, it seems to me that you need to live in Jamaica and you need to be there at least 12 months before you can vote. And if you have left Jamaica and is away for more than 12 months, according to the reading of the Act, I don't think you should be able to go back and vote. Right? Although it's being done. And it is being done because nobody challenged it. Right? So things stand until tested. Things stand until challenged. Now, if the government want to do something for the diaspora, what they should do is to amend the ROPA. Amend the law so that when you migrate, your name will not be struck from the voters list. And this provision that require to live in Jamaica for 12 months wouldn't, before you can vote and participate, will not be there. Right? So that is what I would suggest that the government take a look at. Amending the ROPA law so that when people migrate, their name are not struck from the voters list. Right? And you Jamaicans, wherever they are, would be free to go back from where they came to go cast their vote at any time for parish council election, general election, by-elections, or referendum. They would be at liberty to do that. And everybody in the diaspora would have equal protection that way. Because if you're in Alaska and you want to go down and vote, nobody stop you. Right? If you're in Toronto, Miami, or New York and you want to go down and vote, nobody would stop you. If you're in Australia, nobody stop you. You can come up and come vote. Equal protection would be there. Right? So that is what I would suggest the government do. Amend the law to give protection so that when Jamaicans migrate, their name will not be struck from the voters list. And the law should be so worded so that Jamaicans, the only time they leave the voters list is when they die. You understand? And to me, that would be allowing the diaspora to vote. Right? I believe the government want to include the diaspora more in things. Here there was mention of having a diaspora represented in the Senate. I don't see how that would be practical and how it would work. I really don't see the logistics of how that would work out. You know, how this person, well, like the Senate is appointed by the Prime Minister, but you know that to me, I don't think that would satisfy the desire of the diaspora to be involved. Getting a member from the diaspora in the lower house, again, that is even less practical than getting a diaspora member in the Senate. Excuse me. What I believe should be done and can be done is that the government, working through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, could establish diaspora ambassadors to Jamaica. Right? They could probably wherever they wherever they, I don't know if they would want to extend this to all the countries in the world, but they could decide on maybe, the three major countries where diaspora, where members, where Jamaicans are in the diaspora, and focus on those countries. That might present a little bit of bias, but I suppose they'll have to start somewhere. And what they could do is to have ambassadors from these various countries. They probably could say, well, for example, in the States they could have an ambassador coming from one from New York, one from Miami, one from Washington, one from out in California there, or however many others that they think might be necessary to give good representation to the Jamaican people. They have the number. They could look and see where the Jamaicans are, and then could say, well, we'll get an ambassador from a location if that location has X amount of Jamaicans. They could document it so that these things have clear demarcations. You know that in a community where you have 500 people, probably wouldn't have one, but where you have 5,000, maybe they could have one. So they could do that. Where say, okay, fine. In communities where there are X numbers of Jamaicans, then we will try and have an ambassador from the diaspora to the government of Jamaica. Right? So they could then conduct elections in these areas, in the consulates or the high commissions or ambassador or embassy, and let Jamaicans come in and vote for their ambassador. For example, from Toronto, you'd have a diaspora ambassador for Jamaica from Toronto that we could go and go to the embassy, the consulate, and vote on. Jamaicans would throw their hat in the ring, and then fellow Jamaicans, they would do their canvass and lobby, and fellow Jamaicans could vote for them as ambassador to Jamaica. And these people could then be granted certain courtesies, certain access, certain privileges, and certain courtesies. And they could then take back the concerns of the Jamaican diaspora in Toronto or New York or Miami to the government, and can get certain commitment from the government. One of the concerns is like when people are giving gifts to the hospitals in Jamaica or the schools in Jamaica. You have to then go down there and pay this huge amount of duty on these gifts. It's a big disincentive to giving. And the government should take a look at these things and find a way to resolve them. It's people go ahead and procure lightly used. You're talking about equipment in good quality, because I've been involved in it in some of those activity too. Where you go, you get hospital beds and other hospital equipment, and then you send them to Jamaica, and then when they go down there, you're being told that you have to come with some humongous sums of money to pay taxes, and these things are going to government hospital, right? All you need is a chain of custody to see that, well, if people say, well, it's going to this hospital, then somebody from the hospital or the Ministry of Health will clear the stuff and deliver it to the hospital. So you don't have to worry about a man saying, well, I'm gonna be gifting this, but in truth and in fact, as soon as I clear it and carry it out into private practice, I go sell it. I know those are possibilities, so and can be guarded against, right? So these are some of the things that the ambassadors could address, and this is where This is where I believe the government should look. Right? I know they want to include Jamaicans in the development of the country. And they should. And Jamaicans should do all they can to make us build that little piece of rock as prosperous as it can be. Because if when we put hands and heart together, nobody can stop us. We are special people. We have great ability. We're bad though. And sometimes, the fact that we don't take stuff from anybody is not a bad thing, Just the other day we were talking about slavery. And we reflect and see 1861 before we had America to have a civil war to free and fight, and after that massive loss of life to free slaves in the South. 1861. When we Sam Sharp just said, man, we have enough of this. We have enough of this backward business, This was from 1831. 30 years before. So we Jamaicans, we don't take crap from nobody. And if we unite as people and put our hands and hearts together and pool our resources and our thinking, we can be a country that most other countries will want to emulate. And I believe that having this system of diaspora ambassadors, right, would be a good way to reach out to the diaspora, where the diaspora can tell the government of their concerns, and suggest ways to improve on conditions, and where the government can tell the diaspora of their wishes and what they think the diaspora can do. And I think that would be a far better way. There's less political risk, less political uncertainty going that route than to try and go the route of having people in the diaspora voting. Trust me. That scared the bejesus out of me, man. Because I have lived on the People's National Party. Alright. I became politically aware from 1961. I was very aware. I was very aware of the referendum, and whether we should go federation or go independence, and I was aware from that time. And I've observed politics and see how the People's National Party go about it. And trust me, this is not something you would want to put up so that them can come and abuse and corrupt. I'm going to take another break. And when I come back, we'll do some wrapping up. I'll give you another version and give you another hearing of Power and Glory by Ernest Smith.
It's a good music. Run that!
And as we fight one another for the power and the glory, the kingdom goes to waste. We the people want to know just where we're going. Right now we are tied behind the back, while certain people keep on voting. Where do we stand? We have too far to go, not to really know just how we get in there. And if we're getting anywhere, we have too much to change. as we fight one another for the power and the glory, your kingdom goes to waste, and every drop of blood we tears. I feel we own this grace, yeah. I feel we own this grace. Can't build no foundation on a if and a but. Are we building a nation, or are we building a hut? And every time you hear the song old friend, you hear said just last night, we made a sad, sad end. And if you talk too long, and if you walk too proud, watch where you lay your head. Are out that dread, well dread. Can't build no dreams on a fuss and a fight. We don't care who I do it, just say that's not right. And as we fight one another for the power and the glory, your kingdom goes to waste, and every drop of blood we tears. I feel we own this grave, yeah. I feel we own this grave. Can't build no dream on a if and a but. Are we building a nation?
Jamaican people say I must take sleep and mark that. Right? Those are things that happened in the past. Man, I have to say watch where you lay your head because out there dread well dread. You understand? Because man figure say well look, you're going to prevent me from maintaining my political power. And when you have people so desperate for power, they will do dangerous things. Right? When you have people who are prepared to corrupt every system that can be put in place and force all the legal changes, most of the legal changes that have taken place in Jamaican election was forced on the country by one party, a party that is desperate for power. Understand? So let's not pretend that it's not there, and let us not pretend that it will change, right? Cause I see the other day, like I said, whenever the People's National Party is gonna win election, it's peace. A peaceful election. Make them believe they're gonna lose, and then you see how much bloodshed, right? And I inform our count is 10 Jamaica Labour Party supporters who died in the last election. 10 Jamaica Labour Party supporters. I don't know if any PNP supporters. And I'm not here saying that these 10 Jamaica Labour Party supporters were necessarily killed because of politics. But I'm not saying it was not neither. I'm just stating a fact. 10 Jamaica Labour Party supporters were died in the last election. Right? And maybe that number was only 10 because, you know, the People's National Party condemned oneself. Them had poster was going around telling people that they were going to win. And because they probably felt they were going to win, they never felt the urge or the desire to lash out like they have done in the past. Right? So that probably is what saved us. But I've always said, anytime they're going to win, it's peaceful election. The minute they're going to lose, it's bloodbath. Like in 1980. Understand? So that is the culture of the party we're working with. And because of that, whatever system, whatever changes we are going to make, we have to bear that in mind. We can't pretend that leopard stop being born with spots. Even if them are born with a spot, them are leopard same way. You understand? So we can't ignore it. And wanting the diaspora, wanting greater involvement of the diaspora is good. But wanting to have the diaspora voting, if the vote is going to take place in foreign lands, I would strongly urge the government and my party to carefully consider that. Understand? When it take place in foreign land and when you're bogus, how you deal with it? How do you deal with it? Where would be the court of competent jurisdiction when some bogus take place in Timbuktu, in the North Pole or some other distant country? How do you deal with it? A complex thing. And other country do it, but other country culture different. Not everything everybody do we can do. And I play my power and glory because I want to remind people where we're coming from. Don't pretend that it never happened. That was the 70s and then 1980. We had the bloodbath. It was almost a civil war. Understand? Because people never want to give up power. Right? Simply because people never want to give up power. And when you have people like those, when you put systems in place, they are going to brainstorm. They are going to try to figure out ways to compromise the system. So I say, I'm going to recap. You want to involve the diaspora? Change ROPA. Change Representation of the People's Act. And expressly state that somebody migrating don't lose them right to vote. Right? They can migrate and go wherever in the world they want. They can come back at any time and vote. They don't have to come back and stay in Jamaica for 12 months and all that. Amend the Act, expressly state that. And that way the diaspora can vote when they want, if they want, and there will be equal protection. Right? If you're in Australia and you want to come vote, you can vote. If you are in Belgium and you want to come vote, you can vote. And if you're in Miami, you can go vote. You understand? But when you're going to have voting in foreign countries, how you going to ensure equal protection? In Jamaica right now, every Jamaican who want to vote on the piece of rock there can vote. And they can vote between 7 and 5 on election day. And I have never heard of a Jamaican who wanted to vote in Jamaica and was not able to vote. So therefore, Jamaicans in Jamaica have equal protection, equal access to the ballot box. And they have equal opportunity to cast a vote. That cannot be the case in the diaspora. Right? Man in Alaska will not have the same opportunity to cast his vote as a man in Toronto. Or a man in Miami or New York, the big population center. Right? So there could be legal challenges. I don't know that our constitution would protect that, but that I believe. Equal protection under law, equal opportunity to vote, got to be a consideration. And you will not have equal opportunity to vote if you live in certain distant part of certain distant countries. And if one man will not have that opportunity, no man should have it. That's how me see it. Right? Because that equal protection is very much present in Jamaica, and every Jamaican living in Jamaica who want to vote on election day can vote. The law allow it say even if the polling station close, but you are in line before 5, before closing, you will get a chance to vote. And nobody down here has ever been denied that right to vote. And you have polling station litter all over the place. Most of the place, the polling station, no more than 200 people go there to vote. Right, so you have sufficient polling station dispersed all across the island to give equal protection, equal opportunity. The same thing cannot be done in the diaspora. And if you can't do it, if you cannot have equal protection in the diaspora, don't do nothing. Right? So in order to include diaspora, change ROPA, make it expressly state that when you leave Jamaica, you will remain on the voters list and Jamaicans can come back at any time and vote. If you want Jamaicans to be involved in the decision making, appoint, have a process where you elect ambassadors, right? Ambassadors to Jamaica, diaspora ambassadors to Jamaica. And we won't do this on a little where, you know, curry flavor and those kind of things. You do it where you have this citizen within a community. This now you can say, well, you know, you will take ambassadors from population centers with 10,000 or more Jamaicans or some such number. You can decide on the number. And then you would have these people holding elections. And probably these elections could be tied to elections in Jamaica. I don't know if that might be necessary, maybe not, but it could be at some other intervals, you know, like that. And maybe the ambassador would be there from, you know, for no more than 5 years. I probably would tie it to elections in Jamaica, so that okay, it probably could be hard if you're gonna have it every 5 years in the diaspora, and then you have governments changing in between in Jamaica. It could pose some problem. So you know, maybe linking it to the elections in Jamaica might be useful. So you get everybody come with a, you know, with fresh, having a fresh start, working with a new government, and so on. You know, but that's the way I think it should go. It's wonderful that the government is reaching out to the diaspora, and they should. And I would implore the diaspora to try and get involved, and let us try and build our country as best we can. But this voting idea, afraid of it. You know, they have a party that is not afraid to corrupt anything them say. You know, the buying a vote now has become standard practice in Jamaica. Standard. Because what? Because someone decides they're going to start by a vote. You know, stuffing a ballot box. One side started, the other side have to respond. Because if they get out stuff, they lose. You know. So, this is where we're coming from, and we need to bear that in mind. And as we look for ways to improve our country and to improve the governance, you know, it's good that the minister is reaching out to the diaspora, but don't implement things that will cause more harm than good. And diaspora voting can be manipulated. It can be rigged so that it will cause more harm than good. I don't believe people who left Jamaica should be in their ivory towers in North America or Europe and voting for government in Jamaica and not seeing the condition. At the very least, you must fly down and come see the conditions. Drive on the road, go to your district and see the condition. What if in 2007 you went down and vote, and you voted in a government, and then when you go back down 2011, you see certain things remain the same? You might conclude that they haven't accomplished much and might not be deserving of a vote, and then you might vote against them. Right? That's the ideal way to do it. You can't be from a far off remote place voting for people, imposing governments on people. You know, people who have to live with them. You know, you might help select a government that people who have to live with them would not have selected. Right? So I think people should go down and see the country where they're voting for, so that they can assess the performance of the government they're voting for and all that kind of thing. So, Madam Foreign Minister, good move. Reaching out to Diaspora. It's a good thing. But tread carefully. Tread carefully. And do not provide your opponent with a big stick that they can use to beat you. Because if you give them a stick, I have no doubt that they would not hesitate to use it. I want to thank you for joining me this evening. I hope that the discussions we have had might have enlightened you in some ways. I hope that you might now be aware of certain risks that you were not aware of. So I know that a lot of people in the diaspora want to vote. But I hope that my discussion here this evening might have exposed you to some of the risks that this kind of voting could cause. And might cause you to pause and give it some thought before jumping on the bandwagon. I'd like to thank you for joining me. I'd ask that you share my programs, share with your family, share with your friend, and help drive the listenership. Also, I would like you to join the Jam Talk tomorrow at 5, when you will have Miss Andrea D. White as the host, and she will be coming with another refreshing Jam Talk program. Until we meet again, I'm gonna implore you to keep the faith and spread it gentle as we roll out on yet another version of Power and the Glory by Ernest Smith.
Run that!
And as we fight one another for the power and the glory, the kingdom goes to waste. We the people want to know just where we're going. Right now we have our tied behind the back, while certain people keep on voting. Where do we stand? We have too far to go, not to really know just how we're getting there. And if we're getting anywhere, we have too much to change, not to know